Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Britt, back here again. And today, what are we doing today? Most of you know that I was an exchange student. And if you don't, watch that video or videos. Just do something. I was an exchange student in the United States, which means that I lived there obviously for a good like 8 months before I had to come back. I also have a video about that on my channel. So I've kind of wanted to do this for a while now and just like talk about major culture differences, since like I started writing those down when I first got there, and then I stopped at one point because I thought they didn't seem interesting for me anymore, because like it was my life now and my routine, so they weren't like new for me. I am telling you like 20-ish major culture differences between Europe and the United States. It's a lot. For me, they're obviously normal, and I'm like, how do you not know that? But like a lot of people may not realize some of the things. So I mean, you're welcome. I'm telling you. Like there's so much. So I try to like narrow it down to like 20, but there's like maybe a little bit more, but it's fine. The first thing that's like super different, obviously like everybody knows that sizes. Like everything's bigger in America. Everything's bigger, everything's brighter, everything's bolder. Literally go big or go home, and they don't go home, they go big. Food portions, cars, roads, toilets, rooms, houses, anything you can think of. I might have a picture that I can insert right here, an actual comparison by me. Like one of the shampoo bottles or conditioner or whatever is from the States, and the other one I bought here in Estonia, so you're welcome. Obviously the second major difference is like the people. Like they're different. It also really depends on like where you are in the States or where you are in Europe. Like obviously people in like Greece or Italy, they're much like warmer and outgoing, and in the US it's the same thing. The more north you go, the colder people get with the weather or something. I don't really know. No matter where you are, people are generally so much nicer. Estonians know they're kind of rude sometimes. Like right now I'm having a reverse culture shock, I guess. Not I guess. I'm having a reverse culture shock, which is pretty much like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like sometimes I wonder how I've lived with rude people all my life. No tea, no shade, but like when you go to the grocery store in the States, it's so normal when like the cashier compliments you and you talk about like where you get your nails done and stuff like that. In Estonia that would never happen. Like I'm telling you, never ever in the world would that happen. In the States it's so normal like to talk to strangers, I guess. Like people smile at each other, they talk to each other, like in the stores. Like that happened to me so many times, and honestly I loved it. Like I miss it so much. Maybe it's just my experience, but people are much shorter. Like people in Northern Europe are really tall. I felt tall, which was so weird because like I've always been not tall. Like this is also a known fact. It's just not like me saying that there's a lot of obese people in the States, but that's a known fact, and that is also true. Okay, so the third thing is comfort and convenience. They have drive-in everything, like not even just food places, but like in America we have drive-in banks. Like I can't go to a bank in Estonia and just drive through and put my things in a little capsule and just whoop it up. Like I can't, no, that's not a thing. Like in Maine they didn't have any like drive-in grocery stores, but my mom told me that she's been to some or something, that like they exist. Drive-in everything. That includes fast food, like convenience, comfort, laziness, get there fast. Also in grocery stores in America they have like the cashier, and then they have a separate person who packs your stuff into your bags. We don't have a person. Like we pack our bags. Like we pay and then we like run over there and pack our bags really fast so the next person could like do the same, because it's like fast, pack your bags. We don't have an extra person who packs your bags for you. And I felt like every time I was in the grocery store, like at first I just felt really like helpless, because I'm like standing there watching another person pack my food, and I'm like, also like canned food and like everything pre-made. Like instead of making pasta from scratch, you can buy it in like a package and can and just plop it in the microwave. And people in the States don't really walk a lot. Like you go everywhere by car, like everywhere. Even if it's like a small distance, you still use the car. So the fourth thing, which is very important, is healthcare. In America they don't have a healthcare system. Going to the doctor in America is like you're gonna spend a lot of money. It's such a big country. Make America great again and freaking give them a healthcare system. But like in Europe, I'm pretty sure that everywhere, but in Estonia, it's like healthcare is free for you until you get 19, and then if you work, like you have insurance or something like this. I'm not really sure because I don't work yet and whatever. I've never worried about going to the doctor, like just like I don't pay anything, I just go. It kind of depends if it's like a public doctor or a private doctor or something like this, but pretty much healthcare is free. Like going to the ER or something, you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to worry that you're gonna spend your freaking retirement money on it. So the fifth thing is public transport and like transportation overall. In Europe, everywhere you can take a train, you can take a bus, you can take a tram, and you can go anywhere. Like you can even go to a different country. Like last summer I just took the bus to Latvia, like just like that. Like it's really easy to move around because all the connections are very good, it's very cheap, and everybody does it. In the US, if you have like one bus that goes from some city to another one, it's usually sketchy and no one takes it anyway. So like you really don't have a choice. You have to have a car in the US, and that's why they can also drive at 16, I think, which in Europe 18. So the sixth thing is that in the US, tax is not included. So if you have exactly $2 and you want to go to Walmart and buy something and it is $2, you can't buy it because as soon as you go to checkout, it like some percentages add up and it's more because tax. But in Europe, the tax is already in the price, so the price you see when you look at your thing you want to buy, that's the final price. And also with tip, in the US, it's like you always leave tip, like 20% at least. Like you always leave tip. In Europe, you leave tip if your waitress was good. Like if she did a good job, you're gonna leave tip. It's not like mandatory, and tip is never included in the price. Like never ever included in the price. So Americans, if you come to Europe, leave good tip. So the seventh thing, the alcohol culture. Like in Europe, it's very normal to just like start drinking at a young age because everyone does it. Most places have like 16 plus, like light alcohol, like beer and stuff. Usually it's still 18 plus for like most countries, but it's still like it's very normal to start drinking younger because the drinking age is much lower. And also like it's part of our culture kind of, and like it's very normal to like go out with your friends and drink in public, like parks, beaches. You don't necessarily have to hide your alcohol bottle like you would do in a paper bag in the US. Like that was also weird for me when I saw people do that. Like you can't drink in public there, and the drinking age is obviously 21, so it's like very different. Like I feel like it's so much more strict, where in Europe it's like fun, like it's like every day, like drinking soda for Americans, like just drink your alcohol, like just drink your water, you know. And the eighth thing would be also the same thing around cigarettes. Like in Europe, cigarettes are very like a group thing, or like definitely really bad for your health, but it's like normalized, I guess. Like a lot of people smoke and it's like a social thing to do, whereas in the US I barely met anyone who smoked, except like juuling, but that's another thing, and that's like not a thing in Estonia or Europe overall, like not a thing. In Europe, when you want to go out in public and use the restroom, it's not free. Like it's in Estonia, I think it's like 20 cents usually, but some places have it like €1 and stuff. And in the US, it's like pretty much free everywhere, which I think it should be because like, come on, it's your need. Like you can't hold it in, obviously. In the US, when you go to a restaurant and you ask for water, they just give you tap water and it's usually free. Like they just give it to you like it's water. And if you're in Europe and you go to a restaurant and you ask for water, they're gonna bring you fancy water in a glass bottle, and it's like $2 to $3, sometimes $4. So watch out for that, Americans. I think it might be just Estonia, or it might be like European thing. I don't know, honestly. In America, after the national anthem is played, people clap. Like in Estonia, we have been taught since kindergarten that you do not do that. Like it's very rude. It's a freaking crime. Like you cannot do that. Like you don't clap after the national anthem. Sports. For Europeans, drinking is a social thing to do. For Americans, sports. Like sports are so important in America. So the next thing is the way people dress. In Europe, everybody dresses really fancy. Not like really fancy, but you know, a lot fancier. If you go to school wearing sweatpants, you'll get dress coded. But like in America, especially at school, I like noticed like the first days I was wearing like fancy jackets and like jeans, and I was like all dolled up, and they would just walk walk in with like sweatpants and messy buns, and like Americans wear a lot more like leisurely clothes and like shorts and like Birkenstocks and sandals, and like that would not happen in Europe. Like in Europe, people just dress nicer overall, which is sometimes nice, sometimes it's not. I honestly felt really good. Like I wore sweatpants to school so many times because I can't do that here, so I was like, I can now, I freaking will do it, so I did. So in Europe, everybody speaks multiple languages. For example, in Estonia, you speak English, obviously Estonian, and it's very likely that you speak Russian or Finnish or German. So like already there's a lot of languages. Next thing, eating out, dinner. In Europe, if you go out to dinner with your friends or family, it's like an all night long activity. You sit there for several hours, you talk. Sometimes you get your food you've eaten and you've just been sitting there talking for like 3 more hours and you still haven't paid for it, and it's completely normal. Like that's just how things are in Europe. But in the US, I noticed that it's like you eat out kind of immediately after you're finished, you get the check and you kind of leave, or like you sit for a bit but you still pay it for it and then you like leave. Maternity leave. So in the US, we do not have a paid maternity leave like nationally. So Estonia actually is the country that has the longest paid maternity leave in the world. And I think it's like almost 2 years. The next thing is religion. All like northern European countries are very atheist countries. Not like southern ones because they have their like Catholic church and whatnot. This is not the case in the US. In the US, there's a lot more religion, a lot more diversity. So I don't know how I did not talk about this before, but miles, inches, Fahrenheit, 12-hour clock. In Europe, we have the metric system, and pretend like the whole world has metric system except America. How cold is it outside today? And they would be like, it's 55 degrees, and I would be like, I don't know what that means. I think it's actually more convenient to use the 12-hour clock and just say like 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. instead of like 6 and 18. Alright, now I only have a few things left. Food and holidays. This is different everywhere in the world, so that makes sense. In Europe, we don't like necessarily celebrate Halloween or Thanksgiving. The Christmas traditions are different already. I miss American food so much, I'm not gonna lie. I miss tater tots. I can't even. One thing that's really different also is our school systems. Like they're also completely different. I would like talk about school systems more, but it's gonna get very long. So if you want me to make another video about like school systems and like the differences and like how different American school and European / Estonian school is anyway, let me know and I'll hop onto it. And then I have like some really random stuff that's not like major culture differences, but they're like some of the things that I wrote down when I first got there. In Estonia, you can buy scratch tickets when you get 16. In America, it's 18 plus. If you ask European people about their ancestry or like origin, they will say that they're like Italian or Russian or Estonian or literally whatever. Maybe say that they're like half something, but they will never say like Americans say like, I'm like 1/8 Italian, I'm like 1/16 German. This literally means you're American. I just think it's funny. It's just not an European thing to do. They have air conditioning and ice machines everywhere. So yeah, like ice machines, every fridge has one. AC on, ice everywhere. When you buy something, the calories are per serving size. In Estonia or in Europe, it's the calories are per like 100 grams. Unless your food that you're gonna buy is 100 grams, you're gonna have to like do some math and like figure out how many calories actually is in that, which is not nice. Like, could you just tell me? People can't write in cursive and I don't know why. Like I just met some people who were like, I can't write in cursive. I was like, what do you mean you can't write in cursive? Okay, so this is it for now. I don't have any more things on my list. Actually I do, but they're like about school. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, because just like talking about America right now makes my heart really warm. I really want to go back. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you didn't. This is the end of this video. We're closing this chapter. If you're American, go eat some tater tots for me, please, because I terribly miss my tater tots. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!